Hello everyone, I'm Yoram from Economia, your destination for financial independence, tips to invest and spend wisely. Japan has many banks, some of the largest in the world. And still, it is difficult to open a bank account or get a credit card if you do not look the part. We'll dig a bit deeper and I'll give you a 6-step process to increase your chances of getting it done. And it may apply to other countries as well. Interested? Please click the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Let's get started. Japan is the land of the banks. Literally, there are 400 banks in Japan, from city banks to regional banks to trust banks. There are many big ones, but they are mostly local because foreign banks do not deal with retail customers. The largest bank, like MUFJ, Sumitomo Mitsui, or Mizuho Financial, or even the Post Office Bank, will have branches everywhere. Other banks will have a much smaller footprints and much more regional footprints. Most of the business is still done through physical locations and ATMs, though, thanks to the pandemic, the shift to online has accelerated. And there are also a few new entrants that completely ditched the physical locations altogether. And they're actually all backed by very large corporations. And you can think about Rakuten Bank or Sony Digital Bank. And there are also foreign new entrants from England actually, like Revolut or Wise that just arrived. Still, physical branches have a lot of weight and you're going to see them everywhere, as well as the ATMs. Though, with the change in the population and also, in order to be more profitable, those bank branches, I should say, tend to disappear and a lot of business is shifting online. So, what does it take to open a bank account? Usually, you need an ID, a proof of residence, maybe a proof of revenue, and of course, one more thing, a registered seal. Wait, what? A registered seal? Yes, something like this. Actually, in Japan, signatures, although legal, are usually not used so much, and some institution would insist that you use your registered seal, otherwise called as anko, to sign and open your bank account, or for doing any other kind of operations. So as you can see, it's quite easy. You don't need that much paper or that much proofs and ideas to open your bank account, except if you're not from Japan. Let's be honest, if you're a foreigner, it's much more difficult. It has become better, but not all the banks would be willing to open a bank account for foreigners. So, I did a bit of research and I'm going to give you a few tips as well as the 6-step process to make sure that you increase your chances to opening a bank account as a foreigner. So first, what kind of banks accept foreigners to open? Usually they should all do it. But depending on the banks, it may make it more difficult. So I had a look at MUFJ, at Mizuho Bank, Sumitomo Mitsui, and Rakuten Online Bank as well. Good news, they all accept foreigners to open bank accounts. However, for Mizuho and MUFJ, you will have to go to a branch, a physical branch. You cannot use their online account opening service. On the other hand, Sumitomo Mitsui and Rakuten Online, obviously, would permit you to open your bank account completely online without going to a physical location. And most of the time, those would require just a few pieces of ID. I'm putting links in the description box below so you can see for all those banks what kind of requirement they have. But from what I could see, you would need your residency card. So all foreigners in Japan have a residency card, where your address is mentioned. Then you probably need your My Number card and maybe any other form of ID, maybe a driver's license, anything with a picture on it. As a foreigner, I would recommend as well, maybe bring your passport with you. We never know, they don't ask for it if you have to go, of course, to a physical branch, but it's good to have it with you. And of course, if you're going somewhere, bring your uncle. It's going to be easier. That being said, from experience, if you are in Tokyo, the MUFJ Hero branch would accept your signature without any problem. The reason is that they are located in an area with a very big expat population and a lot of embassies, so they're more used to dealing with foreigners. Now, those are the basics. What are the 6 steps that I would like to recommend to you based on my experience? And again, this is not financial advice at all. It's just based on my research experience and what I've heard that would increase your chances to have your bank account open fast. And this would work both if you do it online or offline, but maybe it's going to be more difficult offline. So look at it if you can do it online. Maybe that's my personal preference. Here is our 6-step process. First one, obvious one, make sure they're okay to open a bank account for foreigners. It should be okay, but it's good to check. Do it online or give a phone call first. It's always good. Number 2, get your paperwork ready. Read the links that I've given you in the description box below, or the website of the bank, if it's not listed, that you're looking at, or give a call to making sure what kind of document they need. And bring a little bit extra. And bring copies. If you're missing something, it's not going to be open, the bank account. They're not going to bend the rule for you. That's the obvious one. So make sure you have everything ready. Number 3, take the time, ample time, to go to the physical branch if need be, or to do it online. Sometimes the system can be a bit finicky, or it can take a long time. So make sure you have ample time and go and do it. Number 4, this isn't obvious, but be polite. Ask questions. Remain calm. This is very important. There might be some tension. The person in front of you, if you're in the physical branch, might not be used to talking with someone who might have a bit of accent or looks different. And it's going to be the same for you. It's not an easy thing to go to a financial institution. So just go with the flow. Number 5, if you have to go to a physical branch and you're not sure about your level of Japanese, or if we're talking about any other country, if you're not sure of speaking the local language, or even if your English is not so good, bring someone who can help you. A local, a friend, someone from your company. That would be so much easier. Everybody would be happy about that, including the bank employee on the other side. Number 6, be patient. Really, be patient. This takes time. Online, the process can be a bit longer. Some things could be finicky. At the branch office, there's going to be a lot of checks. Maybe some people are waiting if you couldn't take an appointment. So just take your time. Things can take a bit of time here. From my own experience, MUFJ is okay with foreigners opening bank accounts. Actually, I mentioned the Hiro branch in Tokyo. That's actually where I opened the first bank account, and they were okay for his signature. That was a long time ago, and it's still the case today. Revolut, the new entrants from England, no problem. They opened the bank account for foreigners as well. And actually, Sumitomo Mitsui, their subsidiary called Prestia, which is a trust bank geared toward foreigners, is very welcoming, and you can open your bank account online very fast. Those are my personal experience, but your mileage may differ. Fantastic, congratulations. You open your bank account in Japan. Isn't it fantastic? Everything is good. What happened next? Well, if you go to the physical location, there's something that you're going to get. I'm taking mine here. It's the almighty, here we'll put it, almighty Passbook. Yeah, the Passbook has been available in Japan for the last 150 years. What is it? It's basically your bank records, right? You're going to have your name, you're going to have your bank account number, and all your transactions are going to be printed on it. And you will need it every time you do a transaction at the branch in person, together with your uncle, your seal. To be fair, those are disappearing. The Passbook are disappearing and more shifting to digital, where you can have all your bank statements and everything digitally. But those are still present. And if you go to, I'm looking for what I need next. If you're going to the branch, immediately what they're going to give you is probably your cash card to get your cash from the ATM. Mine is very funky. I've had for many years. This is the MUFJ. Some would have some of those cash cards would actually double with a debit card, which is perfect, and that's the case for Prestia Bank, for example. So here you go. That's what you would get immediately at the bank, at the physical bank, if they open your bank account on the spot. Then you would have to hop online and open and set up your online access to have access to all those online services that they have. Of course, if you open a bank on Rakuten Online, Sony Financial, others, everything would be already done there. So you wouldn't have to set up everything or wait for your token to come. Once this is all done, what's next? Well, you got a cash card, but maybe it's not linked to a debit card, so you might want to ask for a debit card. You can do that online usually. For all the banks that I've mentioned, you can do it online. It might be a separate website, but you just ask for one. Once you have money on your bank account, that's obvious. A debit card usually nowadays have a Visa or MasterCard functions on it, so you can function for anything, buying online, buying offline. It's perfect. And I recommend a debit card more than a credit card all the time. You can see my previous video about it on the screen, and I recommend you read it. Oh, sorry, you watch it would be better, and you read all the details, because a debit card is actually much safer, much easier, and less trouble than a credit card, at least at the beginning. If you really want a credit card because you know how to manage your money and you want some of the advantages of the credit card, you can also ask for one. Usually, if it's a Visa card, they're all going to go through Sumitomo Mitsui, which is the biggest issuer of Visa cards in Japan, and it's been for the longest time. Have a look. They have a lot of basic ones with almost no annual fee, a lot of advantages, and that's a good way to get started. Another opportunity there is also the cards, the airline cards or the hotel cards are also easy to get. Again, start with a low-level one and make sure that you need one. Time to summarize. So here you have it. Everything that you need to know to open a bank account in Japan. That's a lot. It might be a bit frustrating, but it's much better than it was 20 years ago. Believe me. I heard a lot of stories. It's getting better. You might be refused in one bank. That may always happen. Try another bank. And actually, I found in my Revolut account a referral link to open a bank account. So I'm putting the referral link in the description box below. Try using it. I may get a little something, and that might help you go through the process, at least to open this online bank account. Could be a bit of a help. That's it for today. Thank you again for taking the time to watch. If you like this video or learned something, please click the like button and subscribe so you'll be alerted when new videos are coming up. And if you've been successful in opening a bank account, or if you have other tips to share, do not hesitate to leave a comment below. Thank you, and until next time.